younger than I am today. But we called him old man. I was 23. He got up and said, "You want to change our state song?" I said, "Wow." And he said, "We already have one. And you want to change the state song written by," now listen to this, you can say this back in 1950, "You want to change it to a state song written by 2 New York Jews who haven't even ever been to Oklahoma? And they say taters and tomatoes? And you want to make that our state song?" And we got one written by pioneers, written in the spirit of the past. And with that, he left the microphone and he started walking among the legislators. And he started singing the state song. "I give you a land of sun and flowers and summer the whole year through." If you want to, join in. No. Then we got to the verse of our state song in 1953. "Oklahoma, Oklahoma, fairest daughter of the West." And with that, he started crying. He started crying. He said, "You want to get rid of this song? Oklahoma, Oklahoma." And the legislators started standing. They started saying, "It's the land I love the best." And everybody started singing with him, because it was just a Oklahoma, Oklahoma. And he got to the point, he said, "But I have not said to have, so I give you Oklahoma. It's a toast we all can quack." I said, "Quack?" He can quack, but he can't tater or tomatoes. But when I saw the members were standing, he was crying. They loved old man Huff. He was going to kill my bill to make that song our state song. So I got up and I said, "Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that we lay over this bill and consider it a later date." And he didn't know what I was doing, so he didn't object. He objected. The bill would have been dead. I said, "We lay it over." Man, we laid it over, and I got busy. I got on the phone. I got a hold of the representative from Chickasha. I said, the College of Liberal Arts used to be Oklahoma College for Women. I said, "You got a girls' chorus down there?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, can they sing from Oklahoma?" He said, "We just didn't play last week." I said, "I want them here tomorrow to sing. I want all girls to sing for this legislature." Then I called Rich Bond, who had grown up in McAllister, Oklahoma, gone to high school with me and my brothers. He was in Tulsa. He is the only Oklahoman to ever star as Curly on Broadway from Oklahoma. Went to high school with him. I called, I said, "Rich, you still got any of those fancy dudes you wore on Broadway when you sang Oklahoma?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Put some of them on and get over here tomorrow. Because you're going to sing songs with the Oklahoma College of Women." He said, "When do we practice rehearse?" I said, "We don't." Then I called Jenkins Music Company in downtown Oklahoma City. I said, "This is State Representative George Nigh. Is there any legislation you're trying to get passed?" And they said, "Yes." I said, "I need a piano." They said, "It'll be there tomorrow." And their bill was passed. I told you I was a politician. Anyway, well, the next day, Jenkins Music Company, piano on the floor. Out in the hallway, girls. Out in the hallway, Rich Bond. Early. And I said, "Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent. We give privileges on the floor to special guests that we have here today." And no one objected. And then came about 40 gorgeous creatures. All women. And they sang, "People say we're the..." And they said, "Poor judges." And they say, "Oh, what a beautiful morning." And then the piano from Jenkins went boom, 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 boom. And Rich, with his thumbs and his belt buckle, kicked open the door. And he came in and he said, "Oh, Oklahoma." And the crowd looked at that. And the legislature stood, and he was singing Oklahoma. 300 people in the gallery stood. People in the gallery, 300 of them stood. I put them all up there. They stood. And they stood. And old Ridge did that, and those girls did this swing back and forth and hugging each other, and those legislators did this, and the gallery went wild, and I said, Mr. Speaker, I move that we pass House Bill 1040. And that's how you got a state song all over. Now let me ask you. Rodgers and Hammerstein, two New York Jews, bought the rights of a play called Green Grove Live, written by Lynn Riggs from Claremore, Oklahoma. It was a Broadway show. And Rodgers and Hammerstein bought the rights to it. And they rewrote it. They wrote some additional music. And they hired Agnes Camille to do the dancing. And they named it. And they had this enthusiasm. And the name of the play that Lynn Riggs from Claremore was Green Grove Live. They thought, that doesn't have it. So they decided they would change the name of the play. They bought the rights. They said, what will we name it? And they said, well, how about Away We Go? You've ever seen the play when they get married and they're in the surrey with the friends on top? As they pull off the stage, on the back of the surrey is Away We Go. And they said, that's not very exciting. That's not very enthusiastic. The way people say they opened off Broadway and they changed the name 3 or 4 times of this play that had about our state becoming a state. And Lynn Riggs would have been proud because Rich Bond, my high school buddy, told me this story, so I can look at these, and Mrs. Hammerstein said, why don't we change the name and name it Oklahoma? And the people in the room said, well, what's exciting about Oklahoma? Oklahoma. Mrs. Hammerstein said, let's put an exclamation point at it and call it Oklahoma. And girls, ladies, the name of the play, if I ask you to spell it, and you say Oklahoma, Oklahoma, you're wrong. You would have lost the spelling bee this week. Because Oklahoma, H-O-M-A, exclamation point. And it's Oklahoma. And you're in Girl State. And you're a representative. And that moon, with that astronaut from Weatherford, that Miss America from Vermont, or Salisbury, that country western singer from Moore, Utah, they're from Oklahoma. And I ask you today, as we talk about the Moore rescue, we talk about the first responders, we talk about the Oklahoma spirit. Today, in 2013, nothing is more dramatic than it's Oklahoma, exclamation point. We're from Oklahoma.